Welcome to Sovereign Citizen Legal Encounter. This is part 2 of the Amish Sovereign Citizen hearing. Judge Middleton went in recess, so now we're going to look at part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, then there's a link in the description. You can go back and watch that one before watching this one. Let's go.
All right, we're back. Let's go back on the record. I couldn't find any cookies. I had radishes. That's just not as satisfying as a cookie. But, I think I'll be good till lunch. All right, so we're continuing with the township's case in chief in this matter. Joanne Yoder has completed her testimony. Mr. Thornton, what's next?
I would call Alfred E. Yoder as my next witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Yoder, would you come forward, please? Good morning, sir. Are you Alfred E. Yoder?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to do the same thing that I asked your wife. I know that you don't wish to swear, but will you affirm that any testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief?
I affirm.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Thornton?
Mr. Yoder, could you state your full name for the record, please?
Alfred E. Yoder.
And is it accurate that you also reside in that particular common address, 5-digit address, is to your home? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And do you agree that is the common address for the other structure on that property that was built as a home?
Yes, sir.
So those two homes and two addresses relate to the same property, is that correct?
Correct.
They're not separate individual parcels, correct?
Correct.
And I'm assuming you're aware, and let me start with this. I really want to concentrate on everything from March 13, 2025 forward, that being the date that the court entered the default judgment and permanent injunction. You understand that, correct?
Yeah, I know what you were trying to do, but like she said, there's no Mama's House Birthing Center in existence on that date. And that's who you were filing against.
So would it be accurate to say, because you reside there on a daily basis, correct?
Correct.
So you're aware that after March 13, 2025, your property there continued to be used by pregnant women to temporarily reside there and give birth, correct?
Correct. That is Mama's House Ministry running on a private contract.
Okay. But you're aware that it continued to be used under whatever name it was given at that time?
Correct.
Did you take any action to stop that type of activity?
No, because private, if you're running a ministry under a private contract, it's legal.
He just confirmed they went against the court order.
So under that explanation, you would continue to allow that property going forward to be used as a...
There has been no births at that residence since I last talked with Middleton.
And that being towards the end of August?
Correct.
Of this year. You intend to resume births on that property?
Very good possibility, depending on what the outcome is.
Were you aware that you were to be in court for a show cause hearing on July 2nd of 2025?
I filed special appearance papers that you and the judge ignored.
So the answer to that
And
is...
called sovereign gibberish.
So the answer is yes, you were
Yes, sir.
aware that you were to be there.
I did appear with my paperwork on a special appearance, and you totally ignored it.
Okay. Were you there in person before Judge Stutzman on July 2nd,
Negative.
2025? Did you say negative?
Right,
Meaning no, you weren't?
right.
And were you aware that the default judgment and permanent injunction ordered you to pay Township $265.48 in taxable costs?
No, because you were charging a business that doesn't even exist.
So would it be more accurate to say you were aware of it? You just didn't disagree. You disagreed that you owed it because of the way it was ordered?
The way I understood it, That is for Mama's House Birthing Center, and there's no Mama's House Birthing Center in existence anymore.
So you're not contending in any way, shape, or form that you actually paid Colin Township $265.48.
I did not pay him, no.
At least with him versus his wife, you get a straight answer immediately.
Do you have a role in the second structure on that property being used for pregnant women to come there and have births? I mean, do you regularly?
Honestly. I'm not starting seriously.
Eh?
I'm
Well, I
asking,
mean, are you the park their cars, or do you clean the rooms, or do you mow the grass, or anything that helps the operation of the center?
The only time I appear there is if something breaks down and needs to be repaired.
Then you
Otherwise, no.
okay. So it's primarily your wife that operates it, correct?
She takes care of the building, correct?
Okay. She's also a midwife, correct?
Correct.
So she also helps take care of the pregnant women that come there to give birth, correct?
Correct.
That's all I had for Mr. Yoder, Your Honor.
Mr. Yoder, I'll give you the same opportunity as long as you're there. Is there anything else you'd like to say to me? All right, thank you, sir. You may step down.
My next witness, Your Honor, would be Rhonda Schwartz.
Good morning. Do you swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give here will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief? All right. Also affirm, will you take a seat and state your name for the record, please?
Rhonda Miller,
How do you spell Rhonda?
RHONDA.
Thank you. Mr. Thornton?
Where are you employed?
County, St. Joseph County Courthouse, Clerk's Office,
Okay. What's your title?
Deputy Clerk.
Without going into all the duties of the county clerk's office, is one of the duties of the clerk's office to keep track of new childbirths
It is,
within St. Joseph County?
yes.
Do you have a role in that?
I do a lot of the home births.
Okay. Meaning you keep the records for the home births?
A lot of the home births we enter in by hand in the computer.
Okay. But you're the one within the county clerk's office that takes the information on homes births?
I enjoy doing them, so I always volunteer for them. They're a little bit more work, but any of us can do it. But I like to do it, so I do it.
So you're the one within the office that primarily does it?
Yes.
Can you describe that process for us? Kind of when there's a new birth and you get the information on that, what happens?
Yeah, so if there is a home birth, there's some paperwork that we have to fill out to provide to the state. So it's usually like the midwife who fills it out, and they need to sign it to verify it. And then also like the attendant, like if there was a father on hand, he would also sign it, and it gives the weight, or gives the weight and the date that the child was born, their background a little bit. It's just kind of very information about the parents and about the child and where they were born.
Which is essentially on every birth certificate.
And what do you receive then from whoever was present at the birth that provides you the information? Is there a particular document you receive?
Yep, there's we have a form from the state that they provide, and that we give it to anybody. If they had a home birth, it has to be filled out. It's like a facility worksheet, and they just have to fill in the questions for us to provide for the state.
If I may approach you on.
Yes.
I put two documents in front of you. Can you describe each one?
Yep, the first one is the live birth certificate worksheet. It says a local registered state use only. So this is what like a midwife would fill out. Or if the mom or whoever has a home birth, they need to fill this part out. So this goes to the state. This information is always go to the state, and we give the state a copy also.
Okay,
And the second one is a facility worksheet for the live birth. This has things like where was the child born? It's just, and the father can fill this out, or also the midwife or whoever attended, who was at the birth, a neighbor, you know, whoever was there attended. And they just have to verify that and fill out some information if they know the answers to this. Some of it's medical questions. So we also provide that for the state.
for each birth, do you receive both of those forms?
Yes. Mhm.
Your Honor, I'd ask that these be marked the plaintiff's exhibits 1 and 2 with the live birth worksheet being number 1 and the facility worksheet for live birth being number 2. So that's the first.
All right, Mr. and Mrs. Yoder, these are simply the forms that the clerk has described that you use. Do you have any objection to those being admitted as an exhibit? Mr. Yoder expressed no, and that's number 2. No, wait a minute, I get it backwards. That's number 1, that's the live birth worksheet. And this facility worksheet is number 2. They are admitted.
So it's those 2 forms that your office takes in, the county clerk's office, correct?
That is correct.
And then what happens then, once you receive those forms, what do you do?
So then we go onto our state website and then we enter the information into them. And we also scan the forms into the state website, so they have the actual form themselves. So then from there, we can generate a birth certificate if we have all the information on the worksheets.
And the birth certificates are essentially private documents, correct?
Yes, very private.
You do not hand those out to the public.
That is correct.
They have a lot of private information in them.
Yes.
As part of preparation for today, I asked you to prepare a report, is that correct?
Yes.
And more specifically, I asked you to prepare a report of how many birth records you had from Mama's House Birth Center and or Mama's House Ministry. Is that accurate?
Yes.
And the time period I gave you was from March 13 of 2025 through the most current you had. Is that correct?
Yes.
And did you prepare such a report?
Yes.
I can't wait to hear the results of this report.
And for the record, I'm going to hand the Yoders a copy of what I'm going to be handing Ms. Miller. Is that the report you prepared pursuant to my request?
Yes, we had, yes.
And essentially, it'd be more accurate to say I sent your office a subpoena for the records, correct?
Yes.
You explain, I'm going to provide that so that the court can follow along a copy.
Thank you.
Can you explain what these are and I guess where you're starting? Because I've handed you a 2-page document and a 1-page document. Could you explain this report and how you produced it?
So the first one is the daily birth log that has the 2 pages to it. This is, we have to go onto the state website and run a report. We can run it from the date that you had suggested. It was 3/13 to 9/23 yesterday. And we have to put in like a range. It will pull up from the address. I believe we ran it because at we had Mama's House and then we had Mama's House Ministry. So we had to run it with to get all the births of that era, that time, we had to run it by the address, I believe.
So hence the 2 pages. The first page, would it be accurate to say, is it contains the address,
Yes,
and the second page contains an address of, but the births on this report, you have no question, are all originating from the Yoder's property on, and essentially the 30100 Marsh Road. That home with that address.
that is correct.
So what does this report tell us? How many births were there between March 13 of 2025 and today's date?
Yep, a total of 79. There was 75 in the first one and 4 on the next page.
Okay. And what is the third or the single page births per week it's titled?
Yep, so this one just gives, from that date also, we listed how many births there was per week that we received. And this one has 8 pending. So this one has 87 total because there was 8 that we had to return back that we were missing some information on. So we turned those back. So that would have been, we didn't get those to the state. So that way that says 87 instead of the 79.
So you're waiting for more up-to-date or more complete information before those get sent on to the state?
Yes,
Okay. So the births per week indicate how many births occurred from March 13 on through today's date, correct?
correct.
As reported on the forms that were admitted as exhibits 1 and 2.
Yes.
I'd move for admission of those as one exhibit, Your Honor, plaintiff's exhibit 3.
Mr. and Mrs. Yoder, do you have any objection to the admission of the clerk's report regarding the births? I would note there's no births reported after September 1. Oh, wait a minute. I guess possibly up to September 6th. The rest of September is 0 births. Hearing no objection, I'm gonna have you mark this as exhibit number 3.
Does that mean the court has admitted it?
Yes. Thank you. Admitted.
Have you also, since March 13 of 2025, have you had any conversations directly with Joanne Yoder regarding the births that are occurring on her property?
I do. If I have a question, if something's not filled out correct on the worksheet, I call her. It's just short conversation. She'll answer the question and yeah. So probably about 3
Okay.
within that time.
And does Joanne Yoder sign some of those worksheets that you get?
Yes.
Does she sign most of them?
Yes, whoever fills that out, they're the midwife of that. The reason they sign it, if they're unlicensed, they sign that. And so if she was there at that birth, and then she would be the one signing that.
So it's accurate to say that each one of these 79 births represented on exhibit 3, your office received fill out worksheets for all of those births.
There's some in there that was performed at the birthing center, but they're licensed midwives, so they do it through the computer. So we don't get, just a few of them are licensed midwives. They can already put it into the state. So we wouldn't get births on those if they're licensed midwives.
Okay, so those were, the information was given to you electronically, not on a paper.
Correct, electronically.
That's all I have, Your Honor, for Ms. Miller.
Is there a delay? For example, if we just pick a week, June 29th to July 5th, 3 births. Does that mean the children were born between those dates, or that's when the reports were filed?
No, that would be, I think this is the actual birth date.
All right,
The report runs by the birth date.
okay. There were 2 births between August 31st and July or September 6th, and then none thereafter. Is that what the report shows?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Exhibit 3 is admitted. Do you either of you have any questions for Ms. Miller?
Negative.
All right, thank you. You may step down.
The next witness, Your Honor, I would call would be Joseph Klein.
Good morning, sir. You swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief?
I do.
Thank you. Please have a seat, state your name and spell your first and last name.
First name is Forrest, F-O-R-E-S-T, last name Klein, K-L-I-N-E. Most people in the court know me as Joe Klein, middle name is Joseph.
Thank you.
Can you state your, do you have a position with Colon Township?
I do, I'm their zoning administrator.
And who's your direct employer?
Safe Bill.
Is it Safe Build Incorporated?
Yes,
It's a building code and municipal services company.
correct. Full service building company, yes.
And Safe Build has a contract with Colon Township
Correct.
to provide building code services and zoning administrator services and ordinance enforcement services. Is that correct?
That is correct.
How long have you been the zoning administrator?
6 years in June, I think it was.
Are you familiar with the Alfred and Joanne Yoder's property?
I am, yes.
Would that include,
Correct, yes.
have you been to those properties?
I have, yes.
Have you handled zoning permit requests for those properties?
I have, yes.
As part of your position as zoning administrator, have you been inside the structure home that has the common address?
I have, yes, on one occasion.
Approximately when was that?
It was a few months ago.
And is it accurate to say that the Yoders allowed us to come and take a look at what was happening there at that address?
Yes, they did. They allowed us to come in the residence and spoke to us in the residence, yes.
As in preparation for today's hearing, I ask you to run what we commonly refer to as the fetch documents for the Yoder's properties. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Did you do that?
I did.
Approach, Your Honor.
Yes.
Are those, actually, I'm gonna let you do it. How did you, are those the documents you produced pursuant to my request?
Those are, yes, I got on the St. Joe County Fetch's website, which is reflects records with parcel IDs and owner information, along with various other property information. And yes, I got on that website and printed these off this morning for work.
And how many reports are there?
There are 2 here.
And which parcels by parcel number are you, and when you give the parcel number, also give the common address that goes with that.
Okay.
That's the one, you've been here this morning, you've heard the testimony. That's the parcel with the 2 homes on it, essentially.
Correct, yes.
One being Mr. and Mrs. Yoder's residence, their home, and the other being the 30100 Marsh Road that's used as the birthing center.
Correct. My understanding is the birthing center is the west structure and their actual home is the east structure on that parcel.
There are other outbuildings on the parcel, but these are the 2 homes on that parcel.
Correct.
I do not have extra copies of those, Your Honor.
That's fine.
I thought it would be, so I can show them to the Yoders, but I would move for admissions of those as exhibits 4 and 5.
They're just public records in the county
Correct.
geographical system of all parcels. This is essentially an aerial picture of your house. Do you have any objection to that?
I would ask that the 05 be exhibit 4 and the 10 exhibit 5. And I'm referring to the last 2 digits of the parcel.
Yes.
So 05 is.
That's exhibit 4.
Just for clarification purposes, and I can give you the exhibits back if you need them, the parcel number ending in 10, which one is that?
Let me see if I have that.
Well, let me just give you the, yeah, this is the one I'm talking about that ends in 2 digits. Of
That is
10.
correct. That is not correct.
So what is that one of?
That is of a new parcel that was divided off the main parcel. I would have to look at the dates to see when that was done. It was sometime in the last, I think, 2 years or so. So that's its own separate parcel for a new structure.
This definitely seems to be a different angle of wasting the court's time.
So in short, that is the parcel, just for reference, that is the subject of the other case that
Correct.
Colon Township has with the Yoders. That's case number 25-533-CZ.
That is correct. That is for that. Yes.
All right, exhibits 4 and 5 are admitted. One describes the house of the Yoders and the building that houses the birthing center. One is a house just down the road, which houses a new structure that was under construction. Yes, Miss, just a minute. Miss Yoder, you have a question?
So a question Lance had for Joe about entering the 30100. That was against our will, very illegally done. But Attorney David Marvin was working with us. We had him helping us. And he knew that we wanted to work in peace. And so he said that he feels that if we let Lance come in and see for himself that this is all legal and everything is well taken care of, that we can work in peace. So that's the only reason we agreed, because we wanted to work in peace.
All right, this was,
We are still being harassed.
so this was in 2025,
Yes.
Negative.
2024.
No, this was before.
That would have been like December of 23.
All right, so at that time, David Marvin was the county prosecuting attorney.
It was right just before he moved up north.
I can confirm that I did have discussions with David Marvin about this matter. His official, he was communicating with me and corresponding with me. He officially said he wasn't formally representing the Yoders, but he was talking to them. Well, I would also state that any implication that Mr. Klein or myself, and I was there too, entered without permission or against their will is just inaccurate. We would have never entered.
Well, it may be a matter of perception, but obviously you weren't illegal entry. But Mr. Marvin was the county prosecuting attorney at the time this took place. He was county prosecuting attorney until December 31.
I would have to go back and look at that correspondence dates and those things. I don't believe so. I think he had finished by the time he started corresponding with me. And
So it would have been sometime after January 1.
to the best of my recollection, because I know he told me he was planning on moving up north at the time. And he was getting ready to move up north.
Well, he didn't come to work for the last couple of months. He wasn't here maybe in November or December.
Could have been during that period of time. I would have to check. the record.
Miss Yoder, you've got some input on this?
July, I was in January
Was in January, or that'd been after his term ended?
last year.
Oh, January of 2024?
I think so.
Probably. This has been going on for a long time already.
All right, well. All right. I guess isn't crucial. I was just surprised that he would be, I didn't know if he was doing this in his role as county prosecutor or as advisory counsel, and whether he was still prosecutor or not. I guess it doesn't matter. The point is, maybe you weren't real pleased about it, but under the advice of Mr. Marvin, you let them come in and inspect the premises.
Your
So,
Honor, sir,
yes,
like she said, we tried to work in peace, work
okay,
with a little bit of common sense with these guys. And you can see how far we've got.
We did hire David Marvin for an attorney.
all right.
But he moved out now.
Yes, he moved to Mason County, but I don't think he's there anymore. I'm not sure where he is now, but he's not here in our county. All right. So you paid him money to represent you? All right, let's proceed.
Mr. Klein, when is the last time you were out at the,
On the actual property itself,
no, just, or even driving by?
say it would be, it's probably been a few months since I've actually been by the property itself.
Okay.
I did ask an associate to go by there recently and verify some things for me from the road, but I have not been out there myself in a few months probably.
Okay. And is part of preparation for today, did you locate anything on social media to do with Mama's house?
I did look and see what was still floating around out there, and there is a main internet page that still says Mama's Birthing Center on it. When you open the link, it does take you to the, I believe it's Mama's Ministry, Mama's Birthing and Mama's Ministry or something along that line for a title.
Yeah,
Yes,
that has nothing to do with us doing something like whoever's doing that. If someone's looking on social media, there's a lot of false things out there.
all right, so
As
you,
far as that, I don't even own a computer.
all right, so you don't run a
So I
website for your,
run nothing. I don't do no advertising whatsoever.
Now, I did do a little reading on Amish and technology. And from what I've read, Amish will use computers for businesses and things that they need or in the event of an emergency. But just for regular internet browsing or entertainment, that is something that they typically don't do. If you want to add to this in the comments, maybe you might know some things that I don't, but that's what I found, and I wanted to bring that information to you.
all right, thank you.
So whoever has that posted, I have no idea. Not got anything to do with me.
Mr. Klein, did you run a screenshot of what you found, and where did you find it?
It was a local internet search, a Google search, and yeah, this was at 8:04 a.m. this morning that I located that. And then when I opened the link, it says Birth Ministries, Mama's House of Ministries, and then it just goes on with more literature and pictures of the inside of the building and whatnot.
I would move for admission to this as Exhibit 6. Just based it just solely on the, that it's out there on social media.
All right, well, for what it's worth, I take Mrs. Yoder's under oath. She doesn't run this website. Doesn't even really know about it, but apparently it is on there. If somebody was to do a Google search, this is what they would find. So for that purpose, I'll allow it, and it's admitted as exhibit number 6.
Your Honor,
Yes,
is there a possible way we can find out who would have posted something like that?
maybe somebody can. I'm not computer literate enough to do it. Facebook is
Deceiving thing.
I'm not on it. but it's a thing unto itself. For example, there is apparently a Judge Middleton Facebook page. I've never been to it. Somebody operates it, but I'm not really sure who it is. I don't look at it because I don't know. I don't want to know what people are saying about me.
I guess I can't see how that can be held against us.
Well, I'm not holding it against you. I'm just saying this is what would be found. For example, if somebody posts something on my Facebook page, I'm not responsible for it. Someone posted a picture. I didn't see it. My wife did, and Joan were happy about it. A picture of me standing with another lady on the beach. I was wearing a winter coat. I had a picture taken with someone when I was walking down the street here in Centerville, and she photoshopped me and her on the beach in Florida or something, but I was never there with her. If I was in the beach in Florida, hopefully I wouldn't be wearing a winter coat. But anyway, yes, I'm not holding this against you. I'm simply noting that it exists. As far as I know, the people that go to my site are very kind. I don't go there myself.
That's all the questions I have for this witness, Your Honor.
All right. I have a couple. I'm late to the game here. There were a lot of things that were decided before I got here. And my first knowledge of this was when I saw a number of people at a county commission meeting the night we did our annual report, and they were expressing their support for Mama's House at the commissioners meeting, just in the public comment section. Before that, I didn't hear anything about it. Then I inherited it later. My understanding is the gist of this is not an action by the state Department of Public Health, any issue of licensing. The state of Michigan or the Attorney General has no involvement in this case. This is simply Township's enforcement action. Is that correct?
That is accurate.
All right, and I don't know whether there ever was any, that's a question I've always had. Is there any sort of state licensing oversight here? But that isn't it. So the primary issue, or the couple, is one of the issues, Mr. Klein, that there are two houses on the same piece of property?
No, that is allowed in Township under certain circumstances. I believe these meet that criteria. The problem is the zoning for the agricultural district doesn't allow for the
All right,
use.
that was my next question. In many townships, you can't put two houses on the same piece of property. You can't share a well, you can't share a septic system. Each one needs their own. So that's not one of the violations.
That is correct.
The crux of this is that portion of Township is zoned agricultural, and this is not an agricultural use, so it's outside the zoned designation for this property.
Correct.
Which is what the whole thing rests on?
Primarily it's the use, yes. The use is just not allowed in that district.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to have that somewhat explained, because Colin Township said you can't do it. No, I should say Lance Thornton said you can't do it. But if you go on the Colin Township map, and if you look for commercial businesses in the agricultural district, there's like 4 of them within 2 miles of them, and that's like 2 acres.
Okay, that may be true. That ship has sailed. Judge Stutzman made a ruling on this that said you can't do it anymore as of March 13th. That's where I've come into the game. I'm the zoning guy. You were at the hearing. At some point, the township didn't want me to handle this, and they asked me to be removed, and I denied it. I do zoning hearings in every village and township in the county. And each township or village may do things differently. And I see routinely where I am doing a zoning enforcement case, but I know that 2 miles down the road is a property that's even worse. And I'm not dealing with that property. I'm dealing with the one that's in front of me. So I don't know whether there are other non-conforming uses out in the township that aren't before me. All I know is this one was brought to Judge Stutzman. The township argued that this enterprise does not fit within the zoning description for this parcel, and they're asking to enjoin it. And he did. He said, you can't do it anymore. And then they contend that you continued to do it after he said, don't do it anymore. That's what we're here now. I've said more than once, you could have benefited, and you could benefit from legal counsel. Mr. Marvin was apparently in the picture for a bit. So once the default entered, you would have had an opportunity to move to set the default aside or ask for a rehearing. Those things weren't done. That was in March. So that order stands. Judge Stutzman in a circuit court order says you can't do it. And you can't do it apparently because the township does not allow this sort of enterprise in that agricultural district. It isn't done, at least under these purposes, because they allege that it's unsanitary or it's not properly set up with well and septic, or removal of medical waste, or any of those issues. It's simply, if your neighbor came and wanted to set a birthing center up across the street, the township would say you can't put a birthing center in that location.
I know the judge is explaining it, but I don't know if they're going to get it.
Apparently this has been here for a long time. There may have been some argument that it was grandfathered or preceded the zoning. I don't know about that. All I know is the order is in effect and it's not been set aside, and Judge Stutzman said you can't do it. And that's where we start. So you may have had defenses, but they weren't presented. And apparently they aren't saying you can't do this. You just can't do it there. I was surprised that there is not some sort of state licensing requirement, that if I wanted to start Jeff Middleton's birthing center in Park Township, I could put up a building and do it. I had naively assumed that there needed to be some sort of state licensing to do this. But babies have been born long before there was ever any township ordinance or before there were even hospitals. So some of your views on this, I understand where you're coming from, but they weren't ever properly raised, and they weren't ever moved to set aside the order. So the order is in effect, and you have a right to appeal that to the Court of Appeals. But I think the time limit for that is probably passed, so you'd have to ask for leave. So you can't do this because Colin Township says you can't do this in an agricultural district. And Judge Stutzman agreed and entered an order that said you can't. Now, one of the things you cited in the Michigan Constitution is the governmental interest. And is there a compelling governmental interest to not put a birthing center in the middle of an agricultural district? And arguably the answer to that is yes. This property is about as much in the middle of nowhere as you can get to in St. Joseph County. It's not easily accessible to ambulance or fire service. It's got dirt roads. It's in the middle of corn country.
Knowing that added information, it only makes it worse.
St. Joe County is about 74% agricultural. About 74% of the land is farmland. And you're right in the middle of it. About 5% of it is surface water. So the roads and the rest of us live in the other 20%. I guess they're arguing this should be, if anywhere, in the other 20%. So anyway, I'm here to enforce Judge Stutzman's order of March 13th. And it's in effect whether you like it or I like it. That's the order. Mr. Thornton.
I have no other additional
All right.
questions for.
Excuse me, after I've vented there.
One thing about Judge Middleton, he'll let you have it without raising his voice.
Mr. Or Mrs. Yoder, do you have any questions for Mr. Klein?
Yeah, he's sitting there as a witness. And from my understanding, from the FOIAs that have been filled out, he doesn't even have a valid oath of office. And if you look in the Attorney General letter, it is my opinion, therefore, that the city building inspectors and zoning enforcement personnel are not authorized by law to issue and serve occurrence tickets upon persons who violate the building code or zoning ordinance of a city. It is my further opinion that city building inspectors and zoning enforcement personnel may not be empowered to do so by city ordinance or further position. That was from the Attorney General.
That's an interesting piece of information. Again, that ship has sailed.
He's sitting there.
Oh, well, he certainly can testify. Some villages and townships actually appoint their zoning administrators. And I think what they probably did is appoint his company as the zoning administrator. But again, that ship sailed a long time
If
ago.
he's not carrying an oath of office, he's got no right to.
Well, you may have had a right to raise that objection some time ago, but the order's already entered. And you haven't moved to set it aside, and there's been no move to set aside the default. That hasn't been appealed. So that issue isn't before me. He issued you some citations. Now, very late in the game, you're raising this, which is one of the reasons why I have always believed you could have benefited from legitimate licensed legal counsel. Mr. Klein, you can step down. Thank you. Thank you.
My next and last witness for this matter is Teresa Owsley.
All right, just a minute. Are you guys good? Can we go on till noon? Do you need a recess?
Your Honor, I respectfully note our objection for the record and reserve all rights to appeal.
All right, I respect that. You've made your objection. It's noted for the record, and you reserve your right to appeal. Mrs. Yoder, do you need a recess? All right, then we'll continue. Thank you. Good morning. Please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief? Affirm. All right, thank you. Would you state your name for the record, please?
Teresa Owsley,
How do you spell Teresa?
Teresa,
And Owsley?
Owsley.
Thank you. Please have a seat.
This should be brief, Ms. Owsley. What's your, you have a position with Colon Township, correct?
I do, yes.
What is that position?
I am the township treasurer.
So as township treasurer, you keep track of what comes in and goes out as far as financial transactions for Colon Township. Is that correct? That's part of your duty. As part of preparation for today, I ask you to take a look at the township records. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Essentially from March 13, 2025 forward. Is that accurate?
Yes.
And I ask you to check those records to see if the Yoders had paid, or anybody had paid on the Yoders' behalf, the $265.48 in taxable costs ordered as part of the default judgment, correct?
Correct.
Did you do that? Did you take a
Yes,
look
I
at all
did.
the records?
I did, and I even searched by name and there weren't no records saying that they had paid.
So as treasurer of Colin Township, you have no record that the Yoders nor anyone on their behalf have paid the $265.48 in taxable costs ordered in the judgment.
Correct.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. And I think the Yoders confirm that. All right, thank you. You may step down.
That's all I have, Your Honor, for witnesses.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
if I'm not mistaken, that was another witness without a valid oath of office.
Eh?
I don't know whether she has one or not. I think most
From the
township,
FOIA that were pulled, no.
well, she testified to something that you agree with. You didn't pay it.
But she was used as a witness.
Well, you don't need to have an oath of office to be sworn as a witness. If you're standing on a street corner and you're watching an accident occur, they can subpoena you to tell what you saw. Any layperson is entitled to testify to items within their knowledge. So although you can claim she doesn't have an oath of office, I do, by the way, and have had one for 46 years. All right, I'll note your objection on that as well. All right, no further testimony from the township.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. and Mrs. Yoder, the township has rested their case. You have an opportunity to tell me anything you want me to know. You don't have to. After we do this, we're going to take about a 10-minute break, and then he's going to argue. He's going to tell me what he wants me to do, and then you can respond to that in argument. Is there any other evidence you want me to have here this morning?
Negative, Your Honor.
All right, let's take a short recess. We'll come back at 11:15. The township will tell me what they're asking for, and then you can respond to that.
All right, so you know what that means. His recess is our recess. So we're going to come back for part 3. But I'm wondering where the Amish couple got the script from. That's what I'm wondering, because I have never seen Amish people run a sovereign citizen script, and maybe they have, and it might have been before my time of doing these videos. So I hope you enjoyed this video and stand by for part 3.